phone next door, so I could keep calling back.
Yeah, or just get up and go over there and ask her.
Okay, I'll go over there.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Adams, sit up straight. Sit up straight and stop being asleep when I bring you into this courtroom. Now, I have brought you in here, then I keep removing you because your head is laying down as if you're not coming to court. You are coming to court. You are at court. Listen, stop talking. Yeah, stop talking and do a lot of listening right now. You are at court. It is inappropriate for you to come to court like this. That's inappropriate. I'm going to send you to the breakout room so that you can speak to the lawyers when you come out of the breakout room or out of the waiting room. I do not want to see you laying down on that table. I do not. I need you to be sitting up in an upright position, ready to attend court, ready to attend court. All right, Mr. Brantley, we're going to wait for a date for your case, but meanwhile, I will instruct you in this way. When I get you the
send out a reminder with some final instructions about court appearance. Mr. Adams had a telephone number change in the interim, so he didn't get our message. He apologizes for his improper decorum earlier, and I believe he's made the necessary adjustment, Your Honor. Mr. Adams, please tell the judge your full name.
Unmute yourself first, Mr. Adams. Unmute. You're still muted.
My name is Jalen Pierre Adams.
Today is the day set for a pretrial conference. How are we proceeding? If I tell you I don't think there's a complaining witness, is that going to change what you say?
No, Your Honor, no.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Adams will continue his plea of not guilty. We're going to ask this matter be set for final pretrial conference. We would request discovery, and we would like to be heard as to bond, Your Honor.
All right. The court is going to continue a not guilty plea. On behalf of Mr. Adams, I will set a final pretrial conference for July the 27th at 9:00 a.m. Discovery should be submitted to the defense by June 27th and asked to bond.
Your Honor, Mr. 727. Your Honor, there was a GPS tether and a curfew ordered at the time of the arraignment, along with a personal bond. We have not been made aware of any tether violations whatsoever, Your Honor. Mr. Adams absolutely understood the magistrate's order that he should have no contact with the complaining witness, and he has had no contact with that individual, Your Honor. In fact, Mr. Adams has advised us that that the necessary witness, I'm going to correct myself in this matter, would have did make an attempt to contact Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams did not answer that phone call. So I am asking at this time that the tether be removed.
I'm not sure that that's a necessary witness.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, I heard
right.
As soon as that came out of my mouth, but I'm like, let me just go with it and see what happens.
Right. Yeah, because the necessary witness is the person they ran away from.
Okay, well, at that, so that individual as well tried to contact Mr. Adams, and he didn't respond to that call.
Okay, so yeah, I in my mind, I see two necessary witnesses: the police or whoever got the person from Mr. Adams, and the person who says that the person was legally supposed to be in their custody and then they ran away. But nonetheless, Ms. Ritter, just send a message to your witnesses to let them know that they cannot contact Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams definitely cannot contact them. Yeah, you may. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge. I was going to ask if the people could respond.
Yeah.
So, Judge, in this case, reading from the investigator's report, it looks like the alleged runaway individual is a minor. They are 14 years old. And at the time, the police were investigating a missing persons from the legal guardians of the minor. They did check the location where Mr. Adams was. And it's alleged that Mr. Adams denied having contact with this individual, and it was later found out that this individual was at Mr. Adams' home. Again, Judge, she's a minor. I believe Mr. Adams is over the age of 18 years old. So at this time, Judge, I'm going to ask the court to deny defense counsel's motion to remove the GPS tether based on those facts from this case, Your Honor.
Yeah, so I was trying to process it. And Ms. Stevenson, did you have a response?
Yes, Your Honor. So the GPS tether restricts the movement of Mr. Adams. I don't know how the GPS tether, as opposed to the court's no contact condition, would ensure that Mr. Adams has no contact with that complainant. So again, at this point, the tether has been on since the time of arraignment, which I think was March 3rd, Your Honor. We're going on 2 months later, and there have been, to my knowledge, no violations of the GPS tether. Mr. Adams has been completely cooperative with tether agents, Your Honor. We don't have any indication of any violation. I think at this point, I would argue at this point that the court's stringent no contact condition, Mr. Adams already has more trouble than he envisioned by this case coming about in the first place. And he doesn't want any more trouble with anybody. The reason that he was laying his head down, Your Honor, when the court called the case is because he's indicated to me he hasn't had any sleep in the last 48 hours worrying about this case. Mr. Adams just turned 21 years old today. He's not trying to have any problems in his life. I believe he will abide by this court's no contact condition, and we would ask that the GPS tether be removed. I don't know of any violations, Your Honor. And again, well, that's our argument.
Is he on house arrest?
He's on a curfew and a GPS tether. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. curfew. And which doesn't, I don't know if that's correct, but that's what my note says, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we'd have no objection to a night curfew.
Yeah, so let me tell you why I think it's important. And maybe you're correct, I don't know. Of course, Mr. Adams is innocent until proven guilty. But let me tell you why I think a GPS tether might be helpful. Because if there's a tracker, or if there's some type of situation where the person goes missing again, first of all, I think it could help Mr. Adams. Sometimes trackers help us, even though they're inconvenient. The police will go right to Mr. Adams and say, this person is missing again. And then Mr. Adams will be able to prove that the person is not with him, or whatever. However, this is really a serious situation, because it's very serious. And if he did it, of course, at this moment, I guess he's the only one that knows for sure that's on this Zoom. But that was horrible, because if the parents are looking for the child, I can't imagine if my child go missing and I'm looking for the child, then, it's so much that could have happened to the child, and then where the child is, and you won't tell me, you won't let me know that they're safe. And so, he finds himself in a world of trouble. Additionally, I know he probably, I don't know how he knows the child, but he put him, excuse me. He put himself in a situation where he could be accused of a whole bunch of stuff that could cause a whole bunch of extra big problems. So perhaps in this moment, the GPS tether is good for Mr. Adams. Now, what I will do, so I'm not comfortable at this moment, right at this moment. I'm not comfortable removing the tether at this moment. I may become comfortable, but in the future, I will change his curfew to 5 a.m. So 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. So he can be out and about. He has to be home at 5 a.m. So let me change it.
Okay.
It should be backwards. It should be 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So 11 p.m. he has to be home, and then 5 a.m. So from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then I don't know the address of where the minor child lives, but that address is in the exclusion zone. I want that address in the exclusion zone. So do they live near each other or anything like that?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Okay.
Different. I want to say different county.
Okay. Well, okay. So then the address is in the exclusion zone, and Mr. Adams cannot be within 500 feet of the address of the minor child person. You cannot be near the person, period. You cannot have any contact with this person, and yeah, and that means by phone call or by text message, by letter, anything. You cannot be in contact. And then Miss Ritter, as I indicated, please contact the witnesses. Let them know they can't talk to Mr. Adams. Any questions they might have. So I'm speaking more like of the guardian. I don't know why they would be calling Mr. Adams, but if they have any questions, they need to contact you. Mr. Martell, you giving me Gary Jones vibes right now. God rest his soul. You walking around and stuff on that camera. Okay, so I'm not going to remove the tether, but I'll change the curfew from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. 11 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Okay.
So that's only 6 hours that he's restricted to his home. And then if he still has no tether violations or any contact violations at the July 27th court date, then I will reconsider the motion.
Okay.
All right, anything further?
Judge, would the court like for me to send the address of the individual for exclusionary zone purposes?
Yes, and then let's please make sure that, I don't know how Mr. Adams may know this person, but of course, let's just make sure that that exclusionary zone is not in the system. Like, let's keep it private. It's only going to go to the tether unit.
Understood, Judge. Nothing further from the people.
All right, anything further?
No.
Nothing on behalf of Mr. Adams.
Mr. Adams,
Thank
did you raise your hand just now?
Okay. Thank
What
you.
is it?
Yes, I had a question. Can I speak?
Yeah, and I'll tell you if it's not a appropriate question for me, I'm going to cut you off and send you to the breakout room with Ms. Stevenson.
Okay, it was just about my curfew time.
Okay.
Okay.
So what time is my curfew time? Because I know it was 8 to 8.
Right. So now you can be out until 11 p.m. and then you can't go out again until 5 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., you have to be at home.
So between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., I have to be at home?
No.
Oh.
Between 11 p.m., 11 at night.
At night.
So when 11 o'clock at night come, you have to be home. And then you can't leave your house again until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
You will probably be asleep, though. You're going to be asleep. Do you work, Mr. Adams?
Yes, ma'am.
What time do you have to be at work?
I have to be at work early in the morning because I work at the hospital because I start next week.
So what time do you have, what's early?
So I have to be there maybe like around like 9 or 10.
Okay, so that curfew, you can be at the hospital, so you can, at 5 o'clock in the morning, you can leave the house after 5 o'clock in the morning, and you could be gone all day. And when 10:59 comes, you need to be walking up your stairs because 11 o'clock that curfew hits. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further?
Nothing on behalf of Mr. Adams. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Adams, you're all set until July 27th, and then if you don't have any curfew violations, if you don't have any tether violations, if you haven't had any contact with the witnesses, then I'll reconsider the motion. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Have a great day. Stay safe.
You too, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Mr. Martell, you ready?
I am, Judge. Carol, join Nichols, please.
Yes. All right. Give me one moment. I'm going to send these other people so Mr.